Right, what is up guys? I hope you're doing really well. Thanks very much for joining for today's video. You probably see by the title this is going to be an update on my MT10. A lot of you have been following the story on this bike. Just to give you a bit of a recap, this is what happened. Yeah, the MT10 is dead.
Push it to
very
there.
Dead.
Just leave that with those signs over there, Glenn.
Fuck's sake. So essentially, the MT10 broke down in southern France, as many of you have probably been following, and we didn't really know what the problem was. It had a loud tapping noise, and you probably just heard that by the video of the engine, and I didn't know what that was. My best guess was that it would be the cam chain tensioner. Now I was hoping that today this video would be on the MT10, but unfortunately it's not. Now I have a bit of news. It's not everything that I can tell you, but it's pretty much summed up what I'm going to do next. So if that interests you, stick around, and I'll catch you after the intro. So guys, I was going to tear apart the MT10. Why am I in fourth gear? I'm an idiot. I was going to tear apart the MT10 myself. That was the original plan, but that plan had to change, to be honest, because I've just got a lot going on at the moment. I've just bought my first house, and that just takes up so much time, and you know, just doing this, that and the other. I've also got the TL that I'm trying to work on, and that I want to get that done and sold as soon as possible. The reason I want to do that is because of the MT10. Now, the MT10, I was hoping the cam chain tensioner was at fault. Now, I was a bit lazy and I sent my bike to Mono Motorcycles, who are a motorcycle garage just outside of Chichester. Great garage, nice people. I trust them with my bike, and I just said, look, I just need a diagnosis, please just tell me what it is, take off the side of the engine and tell me what the deal is. If it's the cam chain tensioner, they were going to ring me and just let me know, and then I would authorize them to change it. The cam chain tensioner kit I think is like £100. It's not really the most expensive fix, so I would have had it done. Now they rang me a couple of days ago and gave me the news that it was not the cam chain tensioner. The cam chain tensioner was absolutely fine. So that leads me to two options really. I mean, you can take the top of the engine off and then have a look in there and see if it's like bent a valve or something like that, which to be honest is the most likely thing it's happened to it now, because the noise makes sense. It's the piston hitting the valve. You know, the engine also might be out of time, who knows. So I said to them to stop there and I'll take it back, because I don't really want to, you know, just throw money at it at a garage, you know, just to take this engine apart, and then that's not even fixing it, it's just getting it apart. It costs, you know, so much money. When I then I just want to weigh up my options, take a step back. I have this BMW, so I can I'm not off the road or anything, I'm still enjoying my riding. Oh, it's a bad day for a motorcycle today. Just being hit by a storm in the UK. I don't know what storm it is, but the roads are horrible, really slippery, covered in this sort of like, there's a deer over there, see that? Pounding along. Look at that! He's going fast. That's awesome. Doing like 40 miles an hour. Anyway, I didn't want to just throw money at my bike. I needed to take a step back and just think about what to do, because my options are this. I can take out the engine myself, send it away to get it rebuilt, not really knowing the full extent of the damage inside, or I could just give it to a garage with a second-hand engine and say, can you please replace that? I don't really want to replace the engine with a second-hand engine, because it then screws up the numbers on the engine, and that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't want the engine numbers to, you know, I don't want the engine number to mismatch with the paperwork. I'd rather have it rebuilt. So I've been getting some quotes, been having a look around, seeing how I can save money, and I'm fairly confident in taking the engine out myself and putting it back in, because I've got the service manual with the instructions, and I've got, you know, friends who know what to do. That being said, I'm trying to get a quote for everything, really, you know, get a quote for the engine to be taken out by a professional garage, as well as, oh, these leaves are gross, a professional garage, as well as, you know, doing it myself. So just to see what's the best way to do this is. Now, I did do a bit of shopping online for engines on eBay, and engines they're about 1,500, give or take. You know, some are about 2 grand, some are about 1,300, but you can never truly be sure. Like, you can't truly be sure that it's come out the bike that the pictures are of. The engine's out of the bike already, and they've taken a photo of the dash, and I'm sure most of the times that is the case. You know, it's accurate, but you can't really be 100% sure when you buy an engine off eBay that that engine has come from the bike in the photo. You'd be stupid just to assume that. So I've gone with the option that I'm going to rebuild this engine. Now, the engine rebuild itself, I've had some quotes for, just the rebuild. Gone to different places. I've got a couple of places that I prefer to go to be honest. I'm still doing my research though, so I'm sure there's many more. If you know any rebuild specialists in South England, please let me know. I'm willing to travel a little bit, but yeah, if you've got any experience with this, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But I think there's 2 garages that I'd like to look into a bit more. One of them is Seaton Tuning. I've seen a lot of stuff by Seaton Tuning, especially Yamaha stuff, but related to Yamaha. They obviously know their stuff when it comes to Yamaha. And I've had a quote from them. I spoke directly to a chap there called Phil, just via email. He quoted me £1,400 plus parts plus VAT, and then 500 to actually fit the engine or take the engine out, put it back in. So it's like 2 grand basically, plus probably a bit more than that with the parts, probably like just over 2 grand. I'm not sure how much the internals of an engine are, but I'm assuming they're not cheap. So you might be even looking at 2.5, maybe more, I don't know. Which is like a lot. That's a lot. Like 2 grand on a bike that's worth, what, 6.5 is a lot of money. So I've decided that probably that's going to be the case, and if I do go ahead and get the bike rebuilt, then I just as well have a look at what upgrades are available for the MT10 engine. So I might upgrade the internals of the engine, but I'm not entirely sure what to do or what the best options are, or I might keep it standard. I might just say, look, just rebuild it, because the upgrading might be so expensive it's not really worth it. But I'm going to talk options with Seaton Tuning, I think, and they're going to obviously tell me more about what options I have available. I just want my bike back, to be honest. So that's currently where I'm at. I'm just looking around, getting some quotes. I haven't decided if I'm going to take the engine out yet, or if I might just give it to someone to do. That would be the easier option, because at Seaton they will take it out, put it back in, and dyno it for you. So they'll tune it, and I know they're pretty good at dyno tuning, which is annoying because I've already had my bike dynoed, and it's already been tuned by Woolwich Racing Software at JB Motorcycle Services. He tuned it for me, and it was great, running really nice. I went back a couple of times to get it like sweet as I liked it. But that's where I'm currently at. Oh, just wipe off the spray thanks to this ambulance. Yeah, look at this weather. Better wipe the GoPro. This weather's atrocious. It's so windy the last couple of nights. I had to bike my bike outside and the cover just ripped in half. I'll be honest, it was bad news. I wasn't the happiest when that news came through that, you know, the engine on the MT is not doing well. So yeah, the key thing to take away is I'm going to keep the engine it's got in it. I'm going to get it rebuilt, and we're going to go from there. I don't have any photos of like the cam chain or anything, but yeah, my bike's still currently at the garage. I've got to go and get it, but yeah. So this video you'll see is like the latest update I have. I'm recording this, and it's currently Sunday. I don't know the date. I can't remember the date, but I'm going to release this video hopefully later today, so I've got to get home and edit it. Hopefully that will be out nicely, as long as my computer doesn't crash like it usually does. My GoPro's actually recorded it like it usually doesn't. So yes guys, that is basically where we're at. It sucks, but it happened. I did a lot of research on the engine just to see what upgrades were available and stuff like that, because I was just having a look out of interest. And I just come across loads of forums with MT10 issue failure, like MT10 issue failures? MT10 engine failure problems. And it's funny, the garage that I dropped my bike off to, they also had an R1 in for a complete engine rebuild at the time that I dropped my bike off. And they were just like, another one. So I don't know why. I was never really aware. I was aware that a few MT10s had engine problems. Like, I've heard of it before, but it's one of those things where you sort of know of an issue, but you take a bit of a gamble because it's unlikely to happen to you. There's obviously things you can do to minimize the risk of an engine failure, and I didn't do that. I've serviced the bike as it should be serviced. It's perfect with regards to full service history and regular oil changes and stuff like that, but there's stuff that I've done to my bike which wouldn't help that, wouldn't help the engine failure, such as I've mapped it. It doesn't have a cat, it has a straight through pipe. I'm asking more of the engine than standard. If it had an R1 engine, maybe I'd be fine, because it has, you know, a bit more power as standard, but yeah, the MT10 engine is not built like the R1 engine. It has weaker internals, we could say. Maybe that is a factor. Maybe the upgrades that I've done have had a slight effect on the engine wear. And I wasn't, let's be honest, I wasn't being nice and kind to the engine when it went bang. I was on the back wheel at like 110 miles an hour, so you know, it could have been engine oil starvation that was actually the ultimate cause of the problem, which is you know, it's rare, but it is possible, especially if you like wheeling, and I love wheeling. You know, MT10s are, we all know, especially if you own one, they're a wheelie monster and they love to wheelie. That's what's part of the charm of an MT10 and why they're so fun. And when I was away in a country not to be named, just in case, I was doing some big wheelies. You know, I was actually getting the hang of a wheelie, which was quite nice, but I was getting the hang of a third gear wheelie looking to change into fourth, and it was like, that's fast, and that is a long, fast wheelie, and your bike is working its arse off to maintain that speed. Like, red line on the back wheel is probably literally a recipe for disaster. So, you know, I learnt my lesson with regards to that. I probably, when I get my MT back, I won't be doing a third gear minger to the red line, let's say. So bear that in mind, guys. If you are a bit of a wheelie fan with the MT10, take my advice. Don't push it too much too often. Be aware, if you do want to wheelie, just don't wheelie forever. Don't rev the bike and really make it work hard when essentially you don't know if the oil's actually getting into the engine as it should be. So yes, and that's where we're at. God, these roads are so gross. So gross. I do really miss the MT10 though, I've got to say. I'm not gelling with my S1000 R. It's don't get me wrong, it's a great bike, and you know, a lot of people defended it when I released the last video. My next video will be the top 5 things I love about this bike, so hopefully it gets a nicer reaction. But yeah, it's a great all-round bike. You know, I'm not gonna say it's a horrible bike, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just not getting on with it. It's just not, I haven't got confidence on it. I don't know what it is about it. I miss my MT10, and not having my MT has reminded me of how much I really liked it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get the MT back in, I don't know, a couple of months, few months. Obviously, as I said at the start of the video, buying a house isn't cheap. It literally drains you of all of your worldly possessions. Well, your bank account anyway. So once that's all sort of through and sorted, I hopefully can secure some funds to get it fixed, get the MT fixed. And like I said, the TL1000, when I sell that, should be the answer to that, because the TL was always just a little project bike to learn and create a bit of content with, and you know, sell it on to someone. Keeping another bike on the road will make me quite happy, especially when it's a TL, because I think TLs are fucking cool. Do love a TL1000 R. So yes guys, that's it, that's the update. If you've got any questions, let me know down below. If you've got any experiences with, as I said, with engine rebuilds, and you know of a good garage that's in the South UK or whatever, then let me know down below. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao for now.